You ever notice how the loudest people in the room are usually the weakest? They talk too much, brag too much, complain too much. They're desperate for attention because that's all they've got, noise. But let me tell you something most people will never understand. Silence is the ultimate dominance. When you're silent, you're dangerous. Nobody knows what you're thinking. Nobody can predict your next move. That's what makes you powerful. While the world screams for validation, you're sitting back, calculating, watching, learning. Every word you don't say is energy conserved, respect earned, and mystery built. Real power, it moves in silence. The winners aren't out here advertising their plans. They're not crying for sympathy or showing off on social media. They're locked in, obsessed, focused. They grind when no one's watching and win when no one expected it. You want respect? Control your mouth, control your emotions. The man who can stay calm while everyone else is losing their mind, that's the man who runs the game. You don't need to scream your worth, you need to build it. Let your results echo so loud they silence everyone else. Be silent in your struggle, be silent in your strategy, and then make noise with your success. Because the world doesn't listen to people who talk. It listens to people who win. So keep your head down, stay dangerous, and remember, the lion doesn't need to roar. Everyone already knows who he is. Silence is power. It's not some poetic fluff, it's raw truth. You want to win? Then shut your mouth and learn to observe. Every time you open your mouth unnecessarily, you're leaking value. You're exposing your mindset, your fears, your weaknesses, your plans. You're giving people ammunition to use against you. You think talking makes you strong? No, it makes you vulnerable. The most dangerous man in the room is the one who says the least. Not because he's scared, because he doesn't need to prove anything. He's not there for ego. He's there to dominate. People who can't stay silent are slaves to their emotions. You've seen them, always reacting, always flinching, always defending themselves. They're addicted to being heard. But the truth is, the world doesn't care about your noise. It listens to results. It respects control. When you're silent, you create an aura. People start wondering what you're thinking, what you're planning. That uncertainty, that tension, that's power, puts people on edge. It makes them hesitate, and hesitation gives you an edge. Everyone wants to be loud because they think volume equals strength. They post every move online, they argue every opinion, they scream to be noticed. And while they're busy shouting, the silent ones are watching, learning, adapting. They're collecting data. They're letting the loud ones expose their hands, every insecurity, every lie, every weakness. Silence lets you study your enemy while he dances for attention like a clown. That's how you break people, not by talking, but by knowing. You want to control a room? Don't try to out-talk people. Let them talk themselves into weakness. Let them unravel while you sit back and calculate. Power isn't in how much you say, it's in what you hold back. It's in that tension you build by not reacting, not explaining, not begging to be understood. You don't owe the world your voice. You owe yourself your focus. People confuse silence with submission. That's laughable. The real killers move quiet. The assassins, the chess players, the high-level winners, they don't talk, they execute. They don't need external approval. They're too busy winning. You want real dominance? Lock your mouth, open your eyes, sharpen your mind. Stop wasting energy explaining yourself to people beneath you. Stop leaking power in the form of pointless words. Stay cold, stay calculating, stay silent. Let them sleep on you, and when you strike, let the silence be the loudest sound they ever hear. Control equals respect. You want to be taken seriously in this life? Then learn to shut your mouth and master yourself. You think people respect the loud, reactive, emotional types? They don't. They might laugh at their jokes. They might nod while they scream, but deep down, everyone knows the truth. Those people are weak. No control, zero discipline, just noise and chaos. The man who can't control his mouth can't control his life. The one who can't control his emotions is a slave to every situation around him, and slaves don't get respect. Ever. You walk into a room and explode the second someone challenges you, you've already lost. You gave away your composure, your energy, your dominance. The second you react, they control you. You're a puppet. They push the button and you dance. That's pathetic. That's not power. That's submission in disguise. The ones who control themselves, their tone, their emotions, their expressions, those are the ones people fear because they can't be read. They can't be manipulated. They aren't rattled. You don't know what they're thinking. That mystery, that calm under pressure, that's where respect is born. People respect what they can't shake. A man who doesn't flinch, doesn't stutter, doesn't fold, that man owns every room he steps into. And it has nothing to do with muscles or money or status. It's mindset, discipline, restraint. Control over your words is control over perception. Control over your reactions is control over power. When you're unshakable, you become untouchable. You want to be respected by other men? Control your anger, control your tone, control your urges. Don't be that emotional wreck who explodes over small things and then begs for forgiveness. Be the one who speaks when it's necessary, not to be heard, but to be obeyed. When you talk, it should mean something. And if it doesn't, don't say it. Learn to eat your frustration. Learn to take disrespect on the chin while you plan your next 10 moves. Silence, composure, timing. That's real dominance. Respect isn't given to the loudest voice. It's given to the man who doesn't blink. The one who could destroy you but chooses not to. The one who walks away not because he's weak, but because he's thinking 10 levels above you. That's control. That's power. That's what earns respect in a world full of emotional sheep. And until you master it, you'll always be reacting while someone else is leading. Mystery creates value. The second people can predict you, you become average. You become easy to label, easy to control, easy to dismiss. You walk around spilling your plans, your emotions, your thoughts. You're nothing but an open book. And open books don't scare anyone. And open books don't dominate. They get read, judged, and tossed aside. You want to be valuable? Then be unreadable. Be unpredictable. Say less. Move smarter. Let people guess who you are, what you want, what you're capable of, and let that uncertainty eat them alive. People fear what they don't understand. That's the truth. They might not admit it, but it's wired into their brains. When they can't figure you out, they can't prepare for you, they start second-guessing everything. That hesitation, that mental tension, that's leverage, that's power. That's how you get ahead without even lifting a finger. Mystery makes people respect your presence without you ever raising your voice. You want that kind of power? Then stop broadcasting your every move like an amateur. You think posting your grind online makes you look focused? It makes you look desperate. You think talking about your next business move, your next goal, your next idea earns you support? No. It invites envy. It invites sabotage. While you're out here hoping for applause, someone else is taking notes, preparing to beat you to your own finish line. But when you move in silence, there's nothing to attack. There's nothing to predict. You become a ghost, and ghosts don't lose. The most dangerous men on the planet say the least. They don't brag. They don't announce. They just show up and dominate because their value is built on silence, discipline, and the unknown. People talk about them when they're not around. They build legends without lifting their voice. That's what mystery does. It turns you into a question mark people are too scared to answer. Mystery makes people assume you're 10 steps ahead, and that assumption gives you control. You could be thinking nothing, doing nothing, but if you keep your mouth shut and your moves private, the world will still imagine you're planning something big. And that fear, that overthinking, that's worth more than money, more than connections, more than followers. It's a weapon, but only if you have the discipline to shut up and let the silence do the work. So don't explain, don't justify, don't expose. Move like a storm no one sees coming. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're dormant, and then remind them, too late, that value lives in mystery, and power comes from the shadows. Winners move in silence. Loud people are addicted to validation. They're out here screaming about what they're going to do, posting every step, begging for likes, fishing for approval. It's pathetic. You don't see killers showing their weapon before the fight. You don't see a lion warning its prey. Real winners don't need to talk. They're too busy executing. They're in the shadows, locked in, grinding, while everyone else is too busy trying to look successful instead of becoming it. Talking is a drug for the weak. It gives them a quick hit of dopamine, a fake feeling of progress. I'm going to do this, I'm planning that, shut up, no one cares what you say you're going to do, show me. Talking about your goals doesn't bring you closer to them, it delays you. Every time you speak instead of act, you trade power for ego. Every time you announce your next move, you open yourself up to resistance, criticism, and distraction. And while you're dealing with that, the real ones already crossed the finish line in silence. The silent ones, they're different. They move with precision. They don't waste time explaining their path because they know results don't need explanations. They know success is the loudest statement, and it doesn't need words. They treat life like war. Every step calculated, every plan protected, every goal guarded like a weapon. No leaks, no noise, just pressure. Constant, relentless, invisible pressure building behind the scenes until it explodes. Not in talk, but in domination. The ones who win consistently are the ones who don't care about claps, they care about results. They don't parade their work, they bury themselves in it. Their life is a war room, not a stage. You think they're not working? That's exactly the point. You're watching their silence while they're perfecting their craft. And when the moment's right, they don't announce the launch. They launch and let it hit you in the face. That's the way you play this game. You want to win? Then shut up and show up. Don't talk about waking up early. Wake up early. Don't talk about building the business. Build it. Don't talk about discipline. Live it. Winners don't need confirmation. They don't need a spotlight. Their silence is their strength. Their silence is their advantage. And when the time comes, their silence turns into a roar no one saw coming because they were too busy watching the loud losers fall apart. Listening is a secret weapon. Not enough people understand that. Everyone's so obsessed with being heard, with getting their point across, with proving they're right. And in the chaos of their noise, they give away everything. Their thoughts, their intentions, their weaknesses, their fears. And while they talk, a real operator just listens. Silent, cold, absorbing every word like ammunition. Because knowledge is power, and the loud give it away for free. You want control? Then stop talking and start studying. Sit in rooms and say nothing. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're clueless. Let them spill their guts thinking you're not a threat. Because while they're busy talking to feed their ego, you're collecting intel. Every little twitch, every word, every contradiction, every slip up, it all builds a blueprint. And when it's time to move, you don't guess. You strike with precision because you listened. That's what separates tacticians from talkers. People expose themselves when they talk too much. Their lies unravel, their patterns surface, their confidence breaks. But when you're quiet, they have nothing to go off. You're a wall. And people get uncomfortable when they can't read you. They start over-explaining. They start showing their hand. And all you have to do is sit there, disciplined, still, locked in, and soak up every crack in their armor. You don't have to lift a finger. Just watch them destroy themselves, one sentence at a time. Real power isn't in speaking first. It's in speaking last. And only when you have all the data. Listening gives you that edge. It gives you the blueprint to own the room without shouting once. You don't need volume. You need clarity. You need control. Listening is how you stay 2 steps ahead in every situation. Negotiations, relationships, warfare, business. The one who listens sharper wins harder. Every fool wants to be heard. Every winner wants to understand. You want to be dangerous? Be the quiet one in the room who knows everything and says nothing. Be the one who lets others reveal their cards while you keep yours close. Be the one who nods, waits, observes, then dismantles everything in front of him when the time is right. Because in a world full of noise, silence, backed by awareness, is a nuclear weapon. Listening isn't passive, it's lethal. Use it like a scalpel. Cut through lies. Expose the truth. And when it's time to act, do it with the kind of precision only deep awareness can deliver. Stillness breeds strategy. You ever see a fighter flailing around wildly, throwing punches with no plan? That's what most people look like when they run their lives. Noisy, frantic, desperate. But the real killers? They move with calm, they breathe, they observe, they wait. Stillness isn't weakness. It's the birthplace of domination. When the world is rushing, panicking, losing control, you sit steady, calculating every move with ruthless precision. You can't conquer anything without a plan, and you can't build a plan without space to think. Noise kills strategy. Chaos kills focus. When you're silent, you create that space, a quiet battlefield in your mind where you see the angles, anticipate the traps, and prepare your attack. You don't rush into war with a loud battle cry. You wait, you watch. You pick the exact moment to strike so hard it breaks your enemy's will before they even realize what hit them. Stillness gives you control over time and energy, while others waste theirs reacting to every insult, every distraction, every little failure. You conserve yours. You sharpen your mind instead of your mouth. You build power instead of drama. And when the moment arrives, you're a force of nature. Unstoppable, unbreakable, undeniable. Most people never get this. They think success comes from yelling louder, moving faster, hustling harder. That's why they burn out. That's why they crash. But you understand that patience and silence aren't signs of weakness. They're tools of kings. They're the difference between chaos and order, between losing and winning. When you're still, you're in control of the battlefield and the battle itself. Don't let your ego force you into noise. Don't let desperation push you into reckless moves. Use silence to strategize, to sharpen your focus, to outthink and outlast every opponent. Every great empire, every legendary warrior, every master of the game has understood this. Stillness is where power is forged. Stillness is where victories begin. So stop rushing, stop talking, stop reacting like a child who needs to prove himself. Stand silent, stand steady, and let your strategy do the talking. When you move, move like a shadow in the night, fast, precise, deadly. Because stillness isn't just peace. It's preparation. It's power. It's the weapon no one sees coming until it's too late. If you want to win in life, learn this. Silence isn't weakness, it's your greatest weapon. Talk less, control more. Master your emotions, stay unreadable, move like a shadow, and listen like a predator. The world is full of noise, distractions, and fools shouting to be seen. But those who stay silent, they're the ones who own the game. They're the ones who build empires, while others crumble under the weight of their own words. So shut up, stay deadly, and let your silence become the loudest roar in the room. Because in the end, the silent ones don't just survive, they conquer.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, etc., etc. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever. But I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. And that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. That's life. That's humanity. So I say this to people all the time. If you know you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, why you hang around with people you don't want to be? The world has become exceptionally easy for a lot of men. It used to be a different place. Most men were cannon fodder. Most of us would have ended up in wars, dying for fucking no reason. Damn. Now we don't have to do that. So because we don't have to do that, men think it's okay to just become comfortable now. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. Right. And if you make yourself uncomfortable constructively, it's very easy to be anything you want. And in life, you get one shot. Damn. But if you get some balls, that's what life is as a game. That's what life is as a man. This is one big video game. You get to upgrade your character. You're not born with any value. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Just like a video game, you start with fucking 0. You have to decide if you want to complete it. You have to upgrade your character. So I find it amazing that men are going to play video games and fuck about and waste their time instead of upgrading their character. Everyone knows what to do. You know what you have to do.
Right.
If you had to become the most dangerous, intelligent, respectable man on the planet, you know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You know all these things. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice. I made the choice to do it all. I decided all. And every single man watching this can do the exact same thing. The lions that you see on TV, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight other animals, hyenas, jackals. They had to fight to be the boss. We're living in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter. And I'll tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become. You loathe your own weakness. You loathe your own laziness. This is what all of these things are. I don't feel depression. How can I feel depression when I'm the most powerful version of me that I could ever fucking be?
The most important thing, obviously, regarding anything you do in your life is your mindset. We're going to learn something about ourselves. We're going to learn something about how do you view the world. How you view the world absolutely and utterly shapes how you react to the world, how you act in the world, how people view you. It's all down to how you view things. There's very few things in this life we actually have any control over. I've lived an extreme life, more extreme than most. I've been a multimillionaire. I've been a nobody. I've been famous. I've been a world level athlete. I've started from nothing to the point where I had to run to the gym because I didn't even have a car to get there. I've done it all. So I've lived a very extreme life, and this is where these lessons come from. I told everyone I'm going to be world champion. Years before I even had a British title, before I even had an English title, I just started fighting. I was like, oh, I'm the next world champion. Yeah. I just started saying it, but I said it with genuine conviction. I knew I would be the best.
Good shot there from Tate. He did take the second round. And what a crunching shot.
You have to understand that this world, everyone constantly tells you, do not be arrogant. Do not have an ego. People will constantly tell you to not talk in a way which is full of conviction. People do not like you to be arrogant and have an ego. This is the worst thing ever. Let me tell you a fact, number one facet of the G mindset. Your life is never going to be worse if you walk through the world believing you are the fucking man. And I believe that. I don't just say these things, I fucking believe them. And when you go through life believing you really, really are the man, you're going to lose a few loser friends. Who cares? What you are going to gain is other people on the same path. You're going to gain other people who think, yeah, well, I'm the fucking man too. This guy's the man. Let's make some money. That's what's going to happen. You need to start believing you are the fucking man. Even if you're not the man yet, even before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be the man. So I don't give a fuck. And I was happy to say that to anybody. When people called me arrogant and stupid and deluded, I just sit there and look at them and say, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to be the man. G mindset. First thing you have to believe you're the fucking man, you can achieve anything. I'm not saying you can achieve anything easily. I'm not saying it's not going to take a whole bunch of work. I'm not saying it's going to happen quickly. But you have to believe you can achieve anything. I'll tell you something now. I don't give a fuck about being an astronaut. I don't care about climbing Mount Everest. You give me enough time to train, I will get it done. I know that for a fact because I know who I am as a man. You need to be perspicacious. You need to understand that in this world, there's a whole bunch of people doing amazing shit that you are not doing. And that needs to piss you off. Because if it pisses you off, you become motivated all of a sudden. I was the only one who was pissed off when that Aston Martin was next to me and I had my sales job. I was the only one who was pissed off when I saw that Ferrari drive past. Other people were not annoyed by it. And they're not annoyed by it. They're not driven to beat it. You understand? They're not driven to be where that person was. I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. You're a fucking man. You're a full-grown man. It's perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the girl you're fucking, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch. I want a fucking nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. This is the reason I stopped fighting now. People go, why do you stop fighting? Because I fought, and I went through hell to get everything I now have. I had nothing when I fought. I had nothing. And I wanted the life I now have. Now I wake up in one of my 3 mansions with one of my 7 supercars and one of my 15 women. What do I need to fight for? People have different motivations for different things. There's some fighters out there who fight for other reasons, you know? But my motivation was I was pissed off at the world. Look around you and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. You need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're fucking wasting them. You need to sit there and go, fuck, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. The only person who gives a shit about your life truly is you. And if you don't give a shit, then you're fucked. You have to understand you are out here alone, absolutely alone. And when you understand these three things, you start to see how a mindset comes together. Nobody's going to save you. You're fucked. It's totally down to you. You're pissed off with your current situation and you want to change it. Plus, you believe you can do absolutely anything. This is how I thought at 18 years old. This is how I achieved so much in the short years. This is how I went from a nobody to a world level athlete and a multimillionaire. Because at a very young age, when I had my prime resource of energy and power at 18, 19 years old, I understood those three tenets. I believe I can do anything. I'm pissed off I don't have the life I want. And nobody else is going to give it to me. These are three things you need to understand. If any one of these elements is missing, you'll never have the right mindset. The G mindset will never formulate if any one of these elements is missing. All three are absolutely essential. And the sooner you get your act together, the sooner you start to panic and worry and be concerned that you're 24 or 25, you're not fucking rich yet. There's 24 and 25-year-olds out there who are multimillionaires fucking the hot models. These Instagram girls with 3 million followers, they're getting dicked by someone and it ain't you. And that needs to piss you off. You need to get concerned. You need to get worried. You need, shit, I'm running out of time. You need to get some urgency in your life. So I became a sayer. So my brother used to say, you've become a sayer. And what that means is I made a pact to him that my word was unbreakable, strength and honor. And that if I said something, I meant it. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say to my brother, I'm doing 1,000 press-ups today. Once I said it, once I spoke it, it's like a genie, it became true. If I said I was going to do 1,000 press-ups, I'd do them. Because if I didn't do them, I'd feel guilty within myself that I was the kind of person who talks shit. Because when you instill these mindsets, when your mindset changes, you start to be extremely accountable for yourself. No one's coming to save you. You become extremely accountable. So when you realize that your word is one of the few things you have on this planet, if you say things, you're going to start sticking to them. So then it becomes very easy to train. You say, I'm going to train every day this week. I'm going to train for 2 hours a day. As soon as you said it, it's basically done. If I say something, it's basically done. It's set in stone. And this is another thing you need to understand with the G mindset. You have to be very, very specific with what you say. Because if you instill your mindset correctly and you start to just say things, just start saying things. Then you hold yourself accountable. Say things you don't even think you want to do. Wake up and go up to your friend or your mom or whoever and say, you know what? I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today. Say it to people. And they're going to say, no, you're not. So watch me. And then you have a choice. You're either going to succeed like a G or you're going to be a little pussy. And you're going to quit at 310 because it's hard. What kind of man are you? That's a decision you need to make. This is another facet of the G mindset. And your word has to be iron, unbreakable. You have to start meaning every word you speak. You say to someone, I'm going to get rich. You better fucking do it. Otherwise, you're a liar. You're a liar and you're a little bitch. You say, I'm going to put some muscle on. You better fucking do it. You say, I'm going to lift this weight. You better fucking do it. 99% of the people out here talk shit. They say things they half mean or things they don't mean. If I say something, I fucking mean it. Once you implement that correctly, then you get the ability to motivate yourself to no end. You get unlimited motivation because all you have to do is find the energy to say it. It's literally that easy. This is the fourth tenet and one of the most important ones because that is the power to unlimited motivation. And that's the power to be taken seriously across all spheres of your life. Be specific with your language. They sound like simple things, but to implement them correctly, truly and correctly in your mind will change your entire view of the world. When you implement these four things correctly, when you say, if I say something, I'm going to do it, my word is iron-willed. When you say that nobody is ever coming to save me, ever. When you say that I'm pissed off, I don't have the life I want to have. When you couple that with, I believe I can do anything. If you truly believe all of these four things, it's going to change your entire view of this planet. One of my most famous tweets when I said depression wasn't real. I was having arguments with all these people, and everyone's telling me how dangerous my mindset is. What is dangerous about believing that you control your own mind?
You need to live like God is always watching. You may have the opportunity to do something bad